Hello, welcome, and thanks for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Gamansing. On Tuesday morning, Governor John P. DeJongh Jr. called a teleconference to issue a public safety announcement. The news was in regards to the nomination of a V.I. police commissioner. News 2's Erica Bivens reports.
Governor John P. DeJongh Jr. notified reporters Tuesday morning he had nominated someone to fill the position of V.I. police commissioner.
I will be submitting the nomination of Rodney F. Carrard, Sr. to the 30th legislature as our next commissioner of the Virgin Islands Police Department.
In January, Governor DeJongh called former St. Thomas St. John Police Chief Rodney Carrard back to the department to serve as assistant police commissioner as well as acting commissioner.
I have to admit that retirement was great, but the idea of returning to the police department to assist with moving it forward positively was not a difficult decision.
Already, Carrard has begun a top-to-bottom assessment of all aspects within the police department. One of his top priorities, to increase the police force.
We are trying to initiate as many classes as possible. Like the governor just stated, we have a class in St. Croix about ready to graduate over there. It is our intention to have another class start in the district of St. Croix as soon as we can, sometime later on this year. We are also in the process of trying to get a class started in this district, hopefully sometime next month. As soon as that class graduates or just before it graduates, it's my intention to try and initiate another class before the end of the year because we do realize that at some point officers will retire. So we want to be proactive than reactive.
And DeJongh has pledged his support to help.
He has my commitment. The department will be spared to the greatest extent possible the across-the-board budget cuts that we are forced to implement in other departments and agencies as a result of the continued reduction of tax revenues for the general fund.
Of top priority is fighting illegal firearms, complying with the consent decree, and continued work with federal partners.
The peace officers bill was passed, and we are also, working to complete the form necessary so we can, initiate it. But in the interim, the federal agencies have been working along with us, and they will continue to work along with us no matter what.
DeJongh says he expects the Senate to begin the nomination process immediately. For News 2, I'm Erica Bivens.
Governor DeJongh says he still plans to fill the assistant police commissioner's vacancy. Meanwhile, Carrard also had a few nominations of his own that he submitted to the governor Tuesday due to St. Croix Police Chief Christopher Howell being shot in the line of duty last August.
The incident that occurred with Chief Howell, he's been out on medical, and the department, has to continue going forward no matter what. So at this time, what I'm going to do, I'm going to submit to the governor that we name Captain James Paris as the police chief of the St. Croix district. And also at this time, I'd like to name Lieutenant Arthur Hector, presently our Director of Training with 25 years of police experience as the Deputy Chief for the District of St. Croix.
Officials from DPNR were called on by senators Monday to discuss the controversy surrounding St. Croix's West End quarry operations. The residents in that area say the company's business has had a negative impact on the environment, but zoning has also been a challenge for the quarry. News 2's Erica Parsons spoke with DPNR's Commissioner Alicia Barnes for an update.
The employees for Aggregate Inc. showed up Monday in full support of their company during a Senate committee hearing on energy and environmental protection. The company has come under fire for long-standing environmental issues.
Of course, stormwater runoff, dealing with the issues of impacting the surface waters, Hams Bay, any adverse impacts to Caledonia Gut, those types of storm runoff issues, sedimentation, and everything associated with storm runoff from an industrial site, and being able to properly manage the hydrology of the site.
West End residents have taken to the airwaves and were present during the hearing to talk about the negative impact the quarry has had over the years to the nearby gut and watershed. But officials for the company said by letter and during testimony they're committed to working with the V.I. government to resolve all the issues.
They have had, like I said, a myriad of environmental issues, and they have significantly worked with the department and have addressed many of the outstanding environmental issues.
There's also been a question of zoning and whether or not aggregates should have been grandfathered in. in for pre-existing non-conforming use in the residential area. The quarry has been around for decades, but most recently operated by aggregate since 2003.
They do need to satisfy the requirements to get a multi-sector general permit, and we are working with them in that regard.
Commissioner Barnes says the company is working to address their environmental issues, and despite calls by some Frederiksted residents to shut operations down, her office won't do it.
They seem to want the department to issue a cease and desist order. And I've made it very clear to them that that is something that the department will not do. That is not something that I will support as commissioner. We intend to work with Aggregate Inc. to ensure that they comply with the zoning and environmental laws of the territory.
Erica Parsons, News 2.
On Monday, officials from Sprint were in the territory meeting with Innovative as well as the community to identify services available to those who are hearing impaired. Sprint has relayed services for those hard of hearing or for those hearing impaired or with a speech disability. The community was able to learn more about those services.
We're looking to hopefully bring what a great number of people experience from Sprint to the U.S. Virgin Islands. So I think it's a lot of excitement on our behalf to be here and to try to educate the deaf community about what is available for them.
And we will have more on those services on Wednesday. Well, as we reported on Monday, there is a new chief executive officer at the Schneider Regional Medical Center in St. Thomas. The formal announcement was made by the governing board of the hospital on Monday. Members welcomed and introduced Dr. Bernard A. Wheatley as the new leader of the hospital. Governing board members formally welcomed and introduced Dr. Bernard A. Wheatley as the new CEO of the Schneider Regional Medical Center on St. Thomas.
He comes to us with a wealth of experience in healthcare administration and healthcare management. And that is precisely the reason why he's sitting here with us today.
Dr. Wheatley is a native Virgin Islander who holds both a master's and doctorate in business administration. He is a fellow of the American College of Healthcare Executives and a member of the National Association of Healthcare Executives.
He started out as gaining a certificate in radiology as a radiology technologist. And his progression from there was quite remarkable from an educational standpoint. He has a Bachelor of Science in Health Administration from St. Joseph College in Brooklyn, New York, a Master's in Business Administration from New York Institute of Technology.
He wasted no time in getting down to business, discussing goals and a new direction for the institution.
When I interviewed, there was obviously some clear objectives that was presented to me by the board in terms of Schneider Regional and taking this organization or transforming it to a different level. And I feel that I bring the leadership skills over 30 years in healthcare abroad, along with the educational background to do so. If you look at the pie for the federal expenditure in terms of the Social Security, Defense, and CMS, or Central Medical Services, healthcare is the highest piece of the pie. Is it fair what they're doing? I'm not exactly sure, but we really have to tighten our belts here. And that's why the challenge for all CEOs and all executives across this country is to operate more efficiently, and to reduce the costs, remove the waste out of the organization, and then maximize your revenue potential which really impacts us and the medical staff. And so that'll be one of my challenges. Talks about growth. You have to grow the organization. If you're not growing, then you stagnate, and something is wrong with that picture. We talked about community needs. You know, we and you do it here. We do community assessments. Are we in the right niche markets for the people in this community? If we are going to indeed be the premier healthcare center in the Caribbean, in the U.S. Virgin Islands, as well as the Caribbean, we have the propensity here to do that.
Well, this Sunday will mark 4 months since 21st graders and 6 staff members were gunned down at Sandy Hook Elementary School in Newtown. Today, some of the families of those killed pressed lawmakers for tougher gun laws. Danielle Nottingham reports from Capitol Hill.
Family members of Sandy Hook shooting victims moved through the halls of the Capitol, asking senators to pass tougher gun laws. 24-year-old Jillian Soto lost her big sister Vicky, a first-grade teacher at Sandy Hook.
We need senators to be on board, because if they were going through what we're going through, or they saw their child be murdered this way, they would feel very differently.
The families will be here through Thursday. One of their first stops was a meeting with Democratic senators from their home state of Connecticut.
A couple weeks ago, people said that Connecticut couldn't pass the strongest gun violence law in the nation. But when the Sandy Hook families came to the state capitol in Hartford, things changed.
It's shaping up to be a tougher battle here on Capitol Hill. Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid plans to vote Thursday on a gun bill that would include expanded background checks. More than a dozen Republicans have already said they will block a vote on any legislation that infringes on the right to bear arms.
The one he had indicated he was going to try to move to, it clearly had no bipartisan support in committee, and that was my view on that.
The National Rifle Association has also sent out a special alert asking members to contact their senators and urge them to oppose gun legislation. Jillian Soto wants to see a vote.
But I pray that, nobody ever has to feel this feeling that my family's feeling.
She says she plans to work day and night making phone calls and writing legislators to get gun restrictions passed. Danielle Nottingham, CBS News, Washington.
And keeping our eye on the economy, stocks posted gains for the second straight day Tuesday, pushing the Dow to a new record closing high. This is the New York Stock Exchange with Scotiabank's Stock Market Watch. Everything up, the Dow 56, NASDAQ 15, S&P 5. Well, coming up on News 2, just a reminder, the Fort Christian parking lot will be closed from this evening for preparation of the opening of Carnival Village. Plus, a message from our V.I. Police Commissioner nominee regarding Carnival. That's coming up next. Health Commissioner Darice Plaskett announced today that a recall of frozen pizza from a New York-based company due to possible E. coli bacteria has been expanded to include several other products manufactured by the company. Rich Products Corporation of Buffalo, New York, which previously announced a voluntary recall of certain Farm Rich and Market Day products, expanded the recall to include all products produced at its Waycross, Georgia plant with best buy dates ranging from January 1st, 2013 to September 29, 2014. The Rich products were distributed nationwide to retail stores and select food service distribution customers. Symptoms of E. coli can include stomach cramps, vomiting, and mild to severe diarrhea. People typically are ill for 2 to 5 days but can develop complications including kidney failure. According to health officials, E. coli can cause serious foodborne illness in a person who eats a food item contaminated with it. In addition to the recall of frozen pizza, Farm Rich has also voluntarily recalled mozzarella bites mini quesadillas, Philly cheesesteaks, stuffed crust pizza dippers, and a variety of other frozen food products, the Food and Drug Administration said in a released statement. Plaskett said that it is customary that officers with the Environmental Health Division will visit grocery stores and food distribution companies and will remove any of the recalled items found. 24 cases of E. coli bacteria have been confirmed in 15 states. Just a reminder, the Fort Christian parking lot will be closed from this evening, Tuesday, April 9th, for preparation of the opening of Carnival Village. All cars that are left in the parking lot after that date will be towed at the owner's expense. Every year, Public Works shuts down the lot to make room for the Carnival Village, which includes a variety of vendor booths and popular children's rides. The Fort Christian parking lot will be closed again from the evening of Tuesday, April 9th. That's this evening. Now, after Governor deJongh Jr. announced, as we reported early in the newscast, his nomination for V.I. Police Commissioner as Rodney Carrard issued a message as the department continues to prepare for Carnival festivities.
I want to wish everyone territory-wide and our visitors a safe and festive Carnival 2013. It is the police department's intention to do everything possible within our power to keep it safe. I'm asking anyone who attends any function in the territory in the district for Carnival, if they see something that that they feel could turn bad fast, please notify your law enforcement officer or call 911. It never is our intention to stop any function, to include Juve, during Carnival time. But, it takes the cooperation of the community to achieve this goal.
Meanwhile, it's on the air. If you haven't seen it, here's a public service announcement, TV radio commercial that includes a Carnival message by the V.I. Police Department.
This is Acting Police Commissioner Rodney F. Carruth Sr. asking you to do your part to ensure a safe and festive carnival season for all. Be the eyes and ears of the police department by reporting all suspicious behavior to a police officer or other law enforcement officer, or call 911, especially if you see anyone with a gun, knife, or any other dangerous weapon. Do your part to stop arguments between friends and family before they escalate into a violent situation.
Tune in on Wednesday. We'll have some information on parking restrictions for Carnival. Be sure to stick around. Your News 2 AccuWeather forecast is coming up next.